Oof, man, Yodorenko. Oh my God, man. Welcome everyone to the Game Talk. We played NEC just now. We won 2-1. 3 important points, Yodorenko. We're moving closer to the sixth, fifth position. We'll talk about that a bit later. But this game was very stressful, man. And I'll be honest with you, before I start asking you for your opinion, I have to run something by you, and I want to ask you this.
I think we just need to remain calm, man. I'm not stressing at all.
Were you calm? I wasn't.
I was almost asleep, so
You were almost asleep.
Yeah, it was. It was hard to keep your eyes open, especially in the first half. It didn't really connect. To be honest, it was very low tempo, very average. Sometimes nice combinations, but all in all, way too slow. Way too low tempo, no pressing.
Can I ask you a question already before you talk about maybe players and what happened during the match? I was thinking the same, right? During the first half, I was looking at how low the tempo was, no urgency. It was almost the opposite game compared to the Marseille game. And I was wondering, like, okay, is this an instruction, or are the players tired, or do we have a bit of lower confidence because we lost the game against Marseille? What do you think it is? Because for me, it was even yesterday, or I think Friday, Van het Schip said at Ajax page, Ajax TV, he said, we want to bring the same energy that we did on Thursday. I didn't see that, man.
No, me neither. And to be honest, the energy in the Marseille game was also due to Marseille, because Marseille wasn't that great. So they left a lot of space to dive into, and they tried to press somehow and played a higher tempo. So that helps. That also helps when you have a score line that goes immediately from the start to 2 goals on both sides.
Yeah.
And this was obviously that a traditional game where the opponent said, "Okay, Ajax, you have the ball and show what you got," and that wasn't that much, to be honest. Especially in the first half, it wasn't that great. And I think most shocking to me was if you lead 2 goals and you get such a simple goal against.
In the end.
Yeah, Marta didn't do anything, and then Ramai should have had that ball. In short corner, you always have to have that ball, especially when you're so close to the post. It cannot go by you. Whilst he normally is doing pretty well, but this wasn't great goalkeeping in my perspective.
Yeah. Let me ask you, let's go to tactics a little bit and also a little bit of game management. Let's start with tactics. The starting 11, right? So Marta is preferred on the left wing position, left back position. Linson comes in as well, playing as a number 10, depending on the role of Berghuis, of course, because he's on the right wing. What you saw in the second half, he drifted more into the 10 role. Then Linson goes more and plays on the right side, right? Specifically about the ladder one, right? About the tactical maybe decision to Linson and Bergwijn rotating, from a 10 to a right wing, etc. We're seeing that more often now. What do you think of that? Are you something that you like? Does it please you?
No, I especially don't like it because it's a tactical change, which is nice, but I don't see the tactical base which I want to see. And the tactical base should be pressing on the ball high. So you enforce errors, and you can press the opponent constantly and force them into making errors in the short term, or maybe even in the longer term. Keeping the tempo high, but that doesn't seem a tactic with Van Schip, with Ajax anymore. Sometimes you see it a little bit, but mostly you don't. And I think that should be the basis from where you start. You should always try to press, and sometimes it doesn't work. that doesn't matter, but always try to press and always try to play high tempo.
Yeah. Then I want to ask you something else, game management. So Broby had a awesome chance in the first half, you know, that header.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was hard though, it was fast, so we're not going to blame him. But in the end, he was important, right? Because he basically was the one that gave the assist, and Hlinson made a very good run from the right wing position to score. After that, it was still not like, you know, you saw like maybe 5 minutes that we were a little bit better, but then we dropped away again. We started becoming more panicky, defending a little bit panicky as well. We couldn't keep the ball in the game, etc. For me, honestly, but I want to ask you how you see that, is that it seems like we were not really composed enough, and not even the veteran players, to be honest, like a Bergwijn or a Berghuis, you know, they could intervene and say, like, guys, we have to play a little bit different. We have to keep the ball more in possession, etc., etc. After the 2-0, I thought we will be relieved, you know, we're done. But then, like you said, we conceded that one goal, and then we become panicky again. If you summarize everything of today, what is like the highlight for you, that going into next week when we play Sparta, what should we improve drastically in your opinion? Is it only the pressing? Is it only the tempo?
Yeah, because it has a big side effect. One of the side effects of pressing hard and playing high tempo when you get the ball is that the opponent shoots close to gaps, and that costs a lot of energy. So in the end, after an hour, they become more and more tired. So if you come ahead 1-0, 2-0, then the opponent mostly doesn't have the energy to keep filling the gap, or even to press you backwards. And again, if you're standing higher on the pitch, you're going to have less trouble in the back. And we all see that Guy is okay and nice in the attack, but in the defense he's very vulnerable. And Martha is a bit better in the defense, but today he was vulnerable with the 1-2. He should have made a corner of that, in my opinion. So I think it all begins with the basis.
Yeah, don't you feel Marta was tired at the end? That's the feeling I got. Like the last 20 minutes, he was tired.
Yeah, could be. But that's also a thing which I think is strange. Everyone is complaining about how many games there are, and then you see just one substitution almost until the last 10 minutes. I think it's ludicrous. Just
what do you mean? No, but what do you mean? Because there was a change during halftime, right? Guy was taken off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. But besides that one change, it took a really long time for the others came in. Whilst you can one, keep the team fit, two, keep the team better. How do you say it? Better used to each other in a broader perspective. And you can give other guys some more time to show their skills. Like for instance, Forbes was only playing what was it, 5 to 10 minutes?
Yeah, something like that. 5 minutes. Can I ask you one more thing about game management, because then I want to ask you something else before we go to the comments.
Sure.
Taylor, especially Taylor. The first half you saw that he was playing deeper. We've had discussions about this before as well. You see that when he plays deeper, and of course it's instructed. It's not like he's choosing to play there. It's probably an instruction from Van het Schip. Why? That's my question. Why do we want Taylor to be so much involved in the build-up play? Because today in the first half, he basically gave all the balls sideways or backwards. And in the second half, you saw him move up a little bit up front, and then he becomes more dangerous. He becomes much more active, much more involved overall. Do you know what the reason is behind this? And what's your opinion on Taylor's role in the midfield?
I think Taylor is doing better as he did in the beginning of the season, because he was at times he was terrible, and now sometimes he's good, sometimes he's average. all in all, he's not that terrible anymore. It seems. However, I've always had trouble with the two pivot players because it doesn't help you pressing the opponent, and also not pressing from the start and always doesn't help you in the game plan, because especially when it comes close and you come close to the end and the difference hasn't been made yet, then teams tend to or players tend to hesitate and tend to fall a little bit back and defend the lead. Whilst if there's a clear game plan and you go away from your own goal, then I really believe that helps in the gameplay and in the clarity towards the players.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Let me ask you. That's my question before I go to the comments. Let's highlight the good things, because at the end we won, right? 2-1. I know it was. It was close. It was very close at the end, and we didn't play our best game today, but we got the 3 points. It was different, right? I mean, maybe if you look at the game, it was a hard-fought one. If you compare it to Almere City, we deserved that much more to win. But now we're on the good side of the scoreline, so we won 2-1. We have 3 points. We're moving closer to the 5th, 6th position. Let's highlight if you can be positive, right? Because people know you're a very positive guy. So I want to ask you, what are the highlights for you, the positive highlights that you thought today, like, okay, this is something that I like. I like watching this today. Maybe a couple. I don't know.
I always like Hato. He's so solid, and sure, he makes mistakes as well, but he's so composed, and he brings some relief to the defense. And I really like it. I also liked Rens again in the center. He also seems very composed and very comfortable in that position. Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, Linssen is nice at times. Sometimes he's a bit light, but at least you see with him why Ajax bought him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Intelligent player, to be honest. Can I ask you something about Berghuis and Bergwijn? Let's start with Berghuis first.
Yeah, sure.
Berghuis was very involved, especially in the first half, second half at times. But you see that a lot of things happen, especially when he comes into midfield, right? When he's on the right wing position, he tries to cut inside and give a cross, mostly.
Yeah.
But when he comes a little bit more inside, he becomes much more active. And he can go with 1-2s, give a through pass, etc. Do you feel going forward we should maybe consider Berghuis much more in midfield compared to the right wing? Or are you like, no, let's do it like it is right now. Let him play on the right wing and move inside.
Yeah, I especially miss a player like Van der Bomen. I also especially miss a player like Vos. But because of injuries, they're not attending at the moment. And mostly that brings a little bit more balance on the midfield. So I would rather have those two in the midfield, maybe with Linssen, maybe with my favorite Missouri. And I was really surprised that they said that Berghuis was the man of the match, because I didn't think he was that great, especially in the first half. He wasn't that great, in my opinion. But
I thought he was the one that created the most. He was much more involved in creating something in the attack, to be honest.
Yeah.
Don't you think so?
Yeah, but yeah. Again, I didn't think he was that great, and he is one of the players like Bergwijn, and we'll come to that in a minute, who should be ahead of the curve, and I don't think he was that much ahead of the curve. Sure, there were some things that he created, whilst the pass on Brobbey wasn't his creation. The chance was really created by and the goal was really created by Brobbey himself with his tremendous action. But to me, it's a bit too. it's too voluntary. Also with Berghuis, you expect more from him.
You want him to
Especially
be much more involved.
yeah, and,
Sometimes you feel like it's
especially after Stein going, where he was like rooting for him to leave. At least that's what it felt like. Then you expect, okay, now he left. Now I'm going to show what kind of player I can be for Ajax. And NEC was very average. Was very almost poor in my opinion.
Okay. Let me hold the last question, like always, which will be Bergwijn. So I will hold that for now. I will park it. Let me go to the comments quickly, and you can react to, if you want, to some of the comments.
Yeah, cool.
So let me start with Sebastian. He's saying, we need to replace Kenneth Ghost Rider Taylor as soon as possible. The man is dreadful. Do you think he was dreadful today? You already mentioned a little bit. Not really, right? He has moments, but I think
we have seen some good games from him. Today wasn't his best, to be honest. And again, I would opt for Van der Boma if he's fit, and I even would opt for Missouri, especially against opponents on the right side of the table. Let's say it like that. So I wouldn't mind Taylor benching, but I prefer just an attacking midfield with one pivot and two more pressing players like eights, opposed to.
Probably it will work better also for Taylor if they play like that.
Exactly. So, and I always believe that you should look at the player and the player's qualities and try. You cannot always, but try to play them in their best position and use them in the best way.
Which so you can see their strength, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Sorry, did you want to say something else?
No, but I don't think he was dreadful, but it wasn't his best game. But we can say this of most Ajax players today because it wasn't. Yeah, it was just below par in my opinion.
Okay.
And sure, a win is a win.
A win is a win. It's from Simon. Thank you for that. I've seen a lot of Bergwijn. I will come to that in a bit. Nickname is saying terrible build-up formation. We did a better job at that under Maduro. I think tempo was too low, to be honest. And probably also what you said about maybe the pivot thing, Taylor being much more deeper than usual. Because if you take Taylor and you play him that deeper, you also have one option less to play up front, right? So it's
a bit with a player like Guy. He's vulnerable in the defense, so try to get him out of that position and ensure that you don't come in that position. The same with Marta. He's best on the attacking side, so try to utilize that as much as you can. Again, get your bases correct and press the other team. Try to wear them out before you get in trouble. And now it's mostly, okay, we have the ball. Let's see if we can find an opening. And sure, you find two openings, but then you're not ahead of them, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark is saying 3 points, get in, hand pink waving. Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
And we have also another comment. Also, I'm shocked to see Rensch having another game where he was simply reliable. I think there's a big difference between the Rensch that we know, previous season, under Stijn, and now, like you said, this game, I thought the first half he was really good. Previous games, he played Marseille. He looks solid. He looks reliable
But when he got into the first team, if I remember correctly, he was playing also in the center. But because of the high competition in the center, he was
drifted to the right,
sidetracked to the right, and that was never his ideal position. We all see that.
But do you feel a Rensch can also be reliable against good teams defensively? Because in the build-up, we all know why Van der Schip is choosing him to play at the back, in the center. He knows how to play the Ajax football. He knows how to move the ball from left to right, play the ball into the midfield, etc. So these things he has that quality. But defensively, one-on-one, when you go into duels and these kind of things, when you have to head the ball, do you feel Rensch is also reliable, also a first pick to be a center back, complementary to Hato?
It really depends on how you progress. Trust can do strange things to people, and especially to football players. So he can be competent, but again, Hato is the stronghold over there in the center, in my opinion. And again, if you keep the ball away from the back, then also a Rensch would be an option against better teams. But then you have to press forward, and you have to ensure that you keep the ball as much away as possible. Because if you get the ball over it, then Rensch has less problems because he's fast. And that's not really a weak point of him. His weak points can be purely on the defensive side.
Yeah. All right. Let me drop one more comment, and I will ask you the final question. It's time for the final question, guys. Just a reminder for you guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. If you haven't liked the video, it's even worse. Please like the video, drop a like. We won, guys, 2-1. Let me go with the comment of AP, because you mentioned Missouri. Just quickly, off topic, I've heard that Missouri wants to extend his contract if Ajax promised him to put him in the first squad. Well, to give him more chance, basically. So yes, for you, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I don't understand why he didn't already got his chance.
Well, he got injured, right? Just after.
Yeah, and that's not the first time that he gets injured in a unlucky moment. Let's put it like that. But still, there's so many games against low teams where you can easily get him into the first team and let him make his 15 minutes. And get him acquainted with the team and the level of the Eredivisie. I don't understand why they're postponing it.
We'll see. Let's hope it gets. Let's hope he signs soon. That's what we all want.
But then you don't have the problem of getting him asking to be in the first team, because then he's already played in the first team, and then
the only thing I would say to that is that it's not an excuse for him, because I know he wants what's best for him, and he should. But also look where we're coming from. It's not been a steady and reliable ship. Ajax as a whole, with different coaches. We've had Schreuder, Heitinga.
But again,
now we have Van der Schip. So you're seeing there's too much change. It's not something.
Yeah, but again, I said earlier on, I don't understand why you don't get subs in more regularly earlier on in the game. Also, with these kind of talents, you can give them some time, especially when you have a game like against Vitesse, when you're comfortably in the lead.
Yeah,
make those steps.
But in all honesty, yeah, I totally agree. But in all honesty, that hasn't happened a lot of times yet. Also,
no, true.
So
this season,
I agree with you. Yeah.
But in general, trainers have the tendency to postpone, and then in the last 10 minutes, they're gonna change a lot.
Talking about postponing, it's final question time. Christian knows what time it is. Yeah, it's final question time. So that's a nice bridge of postponing. The postponing bridge has to do with the substitution of Bergwijn. 85th minute, sorry, and then we saw Forbes coming in. To be very honest with you, look, we've discussed Bergwijn a lot, and the problem for me is, and again, like you said, there were more players today not up to par, not playing their best games. But Bergwijn is showing a level that is very worrisome, in my opinion. It's not even that he has a bad game. he's just not there.
He has a bad life.
He doesn't contribute up front whatsoever.
He's
in my
Mr.
opinion.
He's Mr. Invincible. No, invisible. Sorry.
And we've seen
Invisible
we've seen him play a couple of those games already. It's not only today. If it was only today, we will say like, okay, everybody has a bad game. But this whole season, I think Bergwijn has been probably the worst player of this squad, who has gotten the most minutes as well. So my question to you, and I know we discussed this when he got the armband, that we were afraid like
the armband.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the captaincy. When he got the captaincy, we discussed like one of the back, like the arguments that you can bring to this not giving him the armband is if he doesn't deliver, basically, coaches will keep him on the pitch. He's not going to be substituted, or maybe very late, and that's what we're seeing right now. In my opinion, now what's happening is we're forcing Bergwijn to stay on the pitch in certain games, and it's not benefiting the team as a whole. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, but you know my opinion on Bergwijn. I've never been a fan of getting Bergwijn to Ajax. In my opinion, he's highly overrated. And that's basically what we are.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, but the thing is, I want to know right now, like, how do you see it right now? Because we already got him, we signed him. We cannot say like, okay, I didn't want him, because we have to deal with him. So
I think it has almost all panned out as I expected, and now it's getting even worse. So I wouldn't even put him on the starting grid, to be honest, because I think his first touch is so unbelievably terrible, and he's mostly absent as a captain. At times you don't see him whole periods in a game. Whilst as a captain, you should always be visible, either by your gameplay or vocally connecting with your team. But he doesn't do that. He does it in his own way, as he says, which is not at all, in my opinion.
Yeah,
maybe in the dressing room, but
look, we don't know all those backstories and everything that goes on with the players, etc. Right? But the only thing I would say is today, for the first time, I really was questioning whether Bergwijn is fit as a player, because he didn't run. He didn't do a lot. He was just walking, waiting for the ball. He was always late, to a duel, etc. I felt like I'm sorry.
It's nothing really new, is it?
No, but today for me it was even worse.
Okay.
To be honest. No, for you it's always the same.
Yeah, and he's been going down. He's been sliding down, but it's not. To me, it's not a shock. I've never really been fond of him as a player, especially at Ajax. I haven't been really fond, and he does make his penalties very well. But other than that, also I believe it was in the first half where he can. I believe it was Linssen who was completely free on the right. And what does he do? He goes to the inside and shoots.
Yeah, that's his signature move. That's his signature move. We know that by now.
Yeah, but he doesn't see his teammates, and as a captain, it doesn't connect with me. I don't. I think it's really, really hard to understand why he's a captain in this Ajax.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Jaderenko. Just quickly comments about Bergwijn. I don't think that Bergwijn is bad, but I think that if we could sell him, we should do it. Levine, thank you for your comment. Milenio was saying last 3 games, Bergwijn extremely not fit. So Milenio is sharing my opinion on this one as well. Levine wants to, Nickname wants to say he's trying to be the Arjen Robben without training discipline or explosiveness. Yeah, exactly. Look, we're not gonna end up in a with that feeling. Yeah, we're not gonna end up like this. But I had to park this Bergwijn because it was very obvious today. And okay, we have one more question. Then I'm sorry, just quickly, just came. Sebastian is saying quickly, what do you think of Manhoef? It's been speculating about Manhoef from Vitesse. Would you take him as a right wing option for Ajax?
No.
Why not? Just one sentence, enough.
I think the step is too big.
Okay. All right.
And he
Okay.
doesn't. He's not gonna excel in Ajax and be ahead of the curve or something like that.
Especially in this Ajax right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So why would you get him?
All right. We have a game of 6 minutes to be played this week against
Yeah,
Eredivisie on
that's
Wednesday.
a very positive one.
Plus injury time. We're 3-2. We're leading 3-2 at Waalwijk. So we will go there. Ajax will go there, play 6 minutes plus injury time. Let's hope we can keep the win and grab the win officially this time. Then we move to the 6th place, if I'm not mistaken. Next week we have Sparta, which is a duel basically for the 6th position. I think there's 6 right now.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting weeks for us. We can jump at the table in the coming weeks. We have a couple of games left in December.
We should jump in the tables.
We should jump, Jederenko, but honestly, today, I'm worried. I'm a bit worried.
No.
We have to play better than this.
Yeah, sure, sure we do. But at least it's miles away from the terrible performances under our Ibiza lover.
Okay.
So that's a good thing, and slowly you see a little bit more combination. You see a little bit more trust in the players. And no, it's not perfect, and they make too many mistakes. Yeah, we know that. But I think there is some progress. We have, I believe, till January we don't have any really tough opponents.
We have Sparta. Wait, we have Sparta, Zwolle. Who else do we have? I think we have Sparta and Zwolle left.
Yeah, and RKC, obviously those.
RKC this week, and then we have I think we have the Dutch Cup game against the amateurs, Hercules. That's it, I think. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so
all right.
It all sounds. Although Sparta is on the 6th position, it should be all wins in my opinion.
Yeah.
So that's a positive.
Yeah, go ahead after the winter break. Did I say go ahead? I didn't say go ahead, right?
No.
Yeah, all right.
That's in January, I think.
Yeah, just quickly on the game against RKC for our viewers as well. We will not be doing a game talk after that game, purely because it's going to be 6 minutes. So, I'm sorry.
Maybe
sorry,
there are
guys.
6 elevating minutes.
But if they wait another day, on Thursday we'll be back with a regular stream from 8 till 9. We'll discuss everything that's going on, including also maybe the last few minutes of that game. For now, guys, enjoy the win. We really needed that one. And hope you have a great Sunday and see you guys this week. Cheers.